Okay, we're back and we're live. Got caught getting a drink, I'm sorry. Today's show is about PTZ cameras. PTZ cameras are a really big growing category for us. It's an integral part of streaming. And why are PTZ cameras so popular? I want to talk about that. First, we're going to talk about what is a PTZ camera. The P stands for pan, tilt, and zoom. So these cameras give you those 3 axes of control on a PTZ camera, and with those controls, you can put a PTZ camera virtually anywhere to get any angle, and that's super cool. Why should you use a PTZ camera? Well, it eliminates the need for a camera operator. So that means if you're going to do a 3-camera shoot, you don't have to have 3 people on hand to do it. They're easy to set up and use. You get flexible control options we'll go into a little later. It saves you time, and most of all, it saves you money. If you're let's say you're not a house of worship, which is all volunteers, but you're doing videos at your college or university, and you're doing a sporting event like basketball. Well, if you got to pay 3 people to be camera operators, that gets expensive. Take one of the cameras and have it be a PTZ camera. That's really cool. We use multiple cameras here. So we have the main camera is a Sony camera. This camera over here, camera 3, is the NewTek Ndi camera, and that camera 2 is a Ptc Optics camera, which we have pointed at this PTZ thing because we're going to demonstrate something a little later. So let's go back to camera 1, Ed. Sorry for throwing you off on that. That was not part of rehearsal. All right, when and where should you use a PTZ camera? When you don't have camera operators available. Now that could be maybe you're a church or a house of worship and there's only 2 people who really know how to shoot cameras. You want to do a 3-camera shoot. Or maybe you're doing a corporate function where you just want to be able to have the chairman or the president or the VP talk about something with the corporation. You just want to have a camera that can get a couple of angles on them. That's the way you could do that, which is very cool. Space is limited. These cameras are super small. They can fit on a tripod. You can put them right up. You can mount them on a wall. We have one on a table over here. They increase your production options, and they're great for schools, boardrooms, house of worship, sports, and of course, studios like the studio we have here. So let's go into it a little bit more. How do you control PTZ cameras? You've got a few different options. You've got remote control presets. You've got a joystick controller pad like this we're going to talk about a little bit later, or you can integrate with your software and your Tricaster. Now, me and Eddie are going to set up a little demonstration now. So while I'm talking, Eddie's going to get the PTZ camera, the NewTek camera pointing at the Ptc Optics camera, and then he's going to put in a picture so you can see what's going on. So I'm going to talk a little bit while he does that, and I'm going to show you that this is the joystick one. And this is the IP joystick control from Ptc Optics, and this lets you actually control over your network multiple PTZ cameras with the joystick. You can move stuff around. It's very, very cool. But let's go to this little demo. We got to fire it up, Ed. All right, I'm going to control the Ptc Optics camera with this remote control. It's got presets that we programmed into it. So I've got them going. So now let's bring up the picture-in-picture. And now let's show you what this camera is looking at. As you can see, it's the zoom in of this camera right here. What do we got going? No, that's the wrong camera, Ed. There we go. It's this camera right here, and here's the remote. So now what I'm going to do is Eddie's going to cut back to camera 1 with me full shot. I'm going to take this camera and I'm going to put it into the other shot that we have for it. You saw it move now. Now Ed's going to cut back to it. And hey, here I am. Pretty cool if you ask me. And now I'll go back to camera 1. I'll put this back on the preset of the one down there, and you'll cut back to camera 3. All right. Ed's got a little flustered with this demo, so we're going to go further on. We'll just go to the rest of the show. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, Ptc Optics, HC Joy Generation 2. That's a serial joystick controller. $299. It makes using these controllers much easier. We recommend getting one if you're going to have 2 or more PTZ cameras. If you're just going to use one, a remote does the job just fine. All right, the one we have over here that I was showing you before, we cut to this camera. I'll get you the close-up of it. This is the PT Droid Gen 2 IP joystick controller. This thing is super cool, very powerful. We love it. Great for controlling multiple cameras. You could have, I think, over a dozen, maybe 100 cameras. I can't remember what the number is, but you can do lots of PTZ cameras, which is very cool. It's $649, which is a good price. All right. How do you get the most from your PTZ camera? I'm going to go into that a little bit with you, and there's a couple of things that are very important. Number one is color match it with your other cameras to get the best and most consistent picture. Now that's something we struggle with a lot because we're constantly moving our lights around for different shows and stuff like that. And I would say Eddie and I spent about 15 minutes before trying to get those right, and it doesn't always go as perfect as it does other days. The shirt I wear throws it off every time, and I apologize for that, but that's one of the most important things. The other thing is you want to improve your audio with good mics and a mixer to go into your production switcher. We use a mixer. It's helped us a lot. Right now it's just me talking, but we can have multiple guests in the studio. And a lot of people say, you know, PTZ cameras, they don't have a mic. Well, there's a really good reason they don't have a mic, because where you're going to place the PTZ camera typically isn't an area that's conducive to good sound. And while they might have a mic jack that you can plug a mic in if you need to, you're better off going into a mixer and actually then going into your Tricaster or whatever you're mixing with. So those are our two tech tips with PTZ cameras. All right, how do you connect your PTZ camera to your production switcher? You've got HDMI, SDI, and NDI. We've got cameras that support all those formats. Ptc Optics has HDMI cameras. They're easy and affordable. Cables are readily available. They take an HD signal and they give you USB connections as well. Their 12x camera is $16.99. The 20x camera is $17.99. Then they also have SDI cameras. Now their SDI cameras are SDI and HDMI. They give you SDIs for longer runs because you can run the SDI cable 300 feet with no problem whatsoever. You don't have to worry about loss. And a lot of places are already wired for SDI, or your better production mixers and switchers will be SDI. So the Ptc Optics 12X is $15.99, 20X is $16.99. NDI cameras. NDI with Ptc Optics and with NewTek, you get the camera's features plus NDI. So if you have an SDI camera from Ptc Optics that you upgrade to NDI, you get SDI, HDMI, and SDI. The NewTek camera comes complete with SDI, HDMI, and NDI. So prices, Ptc Optics 12X is $21.99 with NDI, 20X is $21.99 with NDI, and the NewTek PTZ1 is $26.99 with NDI and all those other good features. There are differences between the cameras, so if you want to ask us which camera you should get, feel free to call us. We'll go more in depth into what the differences are of the different cameras. I really didn't want to bog down this show as a product show. I wanted to make it more a workflow show, so we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on the differences one. But if you own a Gen 2 Ptc Optics camera, you can still upgrade it to NDI. That upgrade is $600. All right, let's talk a little about NDI workflows, why they're so important, why we love them. NDI is hot. I've done several webinars on NDI. NDI with a PTZ camera is really cool because a single cable now gives you video back to your switcher. It gives you control from the switcher or from a IP-based joystick solution of the cameras. It gives you the ability to run something like Tally, which we have on the NDI HX from NewTek. And it also, they're all PoE, so that single camera is going to power the unit, send the video to the mixer, and it'll also give you your camera controls back to the camera. So it's one camera, it's one cable, and if your facility is wired for Gigabit E, it's going to work very, very well. Like I said, it's compatible with all the production systems. We use a Tricaster here, we have a Wirecast. vMix supports NDI, fantastic, as does UBS, XSplit. NDI is everywhere, folks. It's the technology that's revolutionizing live production. But NDI takes a little bit of work. And the most important thing with NDI is you've got to optimize your network for NewTek NDI workflows. There are some gotchas here that I want to go into that if you don't make sure your network is optimized, it's going to be a little bit trickier to set up your cameras. And we know this firsthand because we found a glitch in our network that we're going to talk about a little bit. So You want to make sure all your switches, routers, and other network gear are all Gig E or faster, and you have to give them 100% of the Gig E line. What we have a situation is we have an IP phone system, so we're provisioning some of our Ethernet ports on our network to handle the phone and the networking. Well, that cuts out some bandwidth, and that creates problems for NDI. So if you're running something like a phone system that's IP, you got to make sure you got some jacks that are just home runs of Gig E as well to your switch, and your switch has got to be Gig E. A lot of people will set up a separate switch within their studio or to take on the road with them so they have complete control over what's going on with their network, and that's a very good idea. Also, you want to make sure you put all your NDI gear on the same set of IP addresses. If they're not on the same set of IP addresses, the setup, it's going to be a bear. The stuff's going to be hunting to find each other, but when everything's in that same range, and Eddie, we use a range like 192, 168, I think. Yeah, you keep them all in the same range. Everything finds itself. It works much better. You're going to want to know where your IP addresses are. It's very important. That's probably the trickiest thing about setting NDI up, but once you get it going, you never have to worry about it. It just works. All right. We wanted to talk about some bundles we have. We always got to promote a little bit when we do these webinars. There are special bundles on sale through March 23rd. These are Tricaster Mini Advanced bundles. These bundles include not just the Tricaster Mini with the Advanced Edition, which gives you full NDI, but it also gives you a pair of NDI devices. What are those devices? What can they be? They could be the Connect Sparks, HDMI, Connect Sparks SDI, or two of the Ptc cameras. So very exciting. Call us for details. We know the specials are ending. We've had some good success with them. I wish I could tell you it's going to be extended, but it's not looking like that's going to happen right now. So if you're thinking about getting into an NDI workflow on a budget, you're a school, you're an organization, a little sports team or a little sports league, a little league setup, it's a great way to go. A Tricaster Mini Advanced, it gets you a travel case, the Tricaster Mini, a control surface, and two NDI devices, either two Sparks or two of the Ptc cameras. If you decide you want one Spark and a Ptc camera, give me a call. We can set it up and still get you your discount. All right, we're video guys. Call us at 800-323-2325. We're always here to help you. We're here to talk about the products we sell because we use them ourselves, which is very cool. We'll help you. Give us a call. Ask for myself. Ask for Eddie. Ask for Britt, and we'll help you lay everything out. We'll talk to you about what are the right Ptc cameras for your workflow. What's the best control option for what you're doing? We'll help you create a complete bundle that can include a Tricaster or a or a Wirecaster, maybe just Wirecast software, and whatever kind of Ptc cameras you need. We'll also able to upgrade you to an NDI workflow. If you've got a current solution that maybe isn't NDI or can kind of be NDI, give us a call and we can talk to you about what can be NDI upgraded and what can't, and what you need to make to fill out the whole NDI kit and caboodle. So Ptc cameras, I want to go back to that first slide. I don't think I have it here. So not going to go to that slide. I'm actually going to go to what's coming in the next few webinars. What do we have? 327, Wirecast Gear 230. The thing that's exciting about that, we're also going to talk about a new controller that's becoming available for Wirecast, and that's super exciting. 4.3 is our NAB preview. 410, no show because we're going to be at NAB, but Eddie's going to be there. He's going to be videotaping at the different booths, getting shots of the booths, the demos, the training, and some other stuff that's going on. So we'll get back from the show. We'll put that all together, make some blog posts, turn it into a webinar, and that'll be our 417 webinar. And depending on how much information comes out of NAB, and some years it's a truckload, other years it's a trickle because you kind of know about the stuff already. We're not sure what we're going to get this year at NAB, but we're excited about it as always. But we might have to need the 424. We might need two shows back to back to handle it because it could be that much stuff. So that's kind of concluding our show. I want to thank you. I know I'm flying through these slides in the background, which is kind of rude, but I want to go over once again why you use a Ptc camera. Eliminate the need for operators, easy to set up and use, flexible control systems, options. They save time and they save money. This is Gary from Videoguys.com. Thanks for coming to our webinar, our NewsDay Tuesday webinar every Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to tell you about the products we sell, how they work, how to use them yourself. Thank you for joining in. Please, if you can, like our videos, like us on Facebook, retweet us, help us get the social media love. I know I'm begging at the end, but we've ran the stats, and a lot of you stay for the whole webinar and watch the whole webinar. So if you're getting enjoyment and you like the webinar, help us a little bit, spread the word, share the wealth, tell people about the webinar, give us some likes, give us some comments. And the comments, if you give us some comments on Twitter or on our blog or on YouTube, we'll try to use those comments. Hey, we'll answer them for you, but maybe it's about something else you want to see in the future for us to cover, or something you don't like about the job we're doing. We want your feedback. We just want to improve what we're doing. We want to help you get into streaming, get into live production, get into post-production. You name it, we're the video experts. We use this stuff. We know what it's like. We do the shows live. Sometimes they go perfectly, sometimes they don't. I know we had some hiccups this show, but that's okay. We'll get through it. This is Gary for Videoguys.com. Peace.
Video Guys is available Monday through Friday. Give us a call at 1-800-323-2325. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter to stay connected with all of our updates. And you can like us on Facebook. Keep an eye out for our live videos. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.